Hi, my name's Mother Clare Watts. This is a talk that I gave at a spiritual retreat in winter of 2013, and that I got a lot of requests that I make it more broadly available. And the name of the talk is Now What? Living and Thriving in this New Era of Consciousness. December 21st, 2012 came and went, and the cynics scoffed at all those who were expectantly awaiting the apocalyptic end of the Piscean Age. They scorned those who had spoken of the impending collapse of civilization and entirely missed the messages coming from those who emphasized the beginning of a new age and the powerful spiritual impact of the transition. Very significant major changes have, in fact, come over our world. You don't have to be a psychic to feel what has begun to pour into the consciousness of this planet. The Kabbalah states that if you pour more light into vessels than what they can hold, you get darkness. Imagine sending 10,000 watts of electricity into a 60-watt bulb. It'll blow out the circuits, and what you'll have is darkness. This is why we see the darkness around us increasing, even though more light is pouring into the consciousness of the planet. Simultaneously, more and more people are opening up to the light and are beginning to hold it, live it, and give it. Both the light and the darkness are therefore increasing at the same time. Many of you may feel this happening, and you're trying to acclimate to the intensity of the energy. Your bodies, hearts, and minds may all need some adjusting time to be able to hold the increased wattage that's flowing through your being. And inside your being, your souls are rejoicing and delighting in the influx of the light, while they call out to your heart and mind to get aligned with the new level of graces and the new challenges coming our way. So this is a time of intensity in many different ways. You who are choosing to be with us on this mystical Christian path, in this order called the Order of Christ Sophia, and are deciding to grow in the sunshine of the love that we're carrying, you're making a bold and soulful choice. It's bold because what we are doing has never been done before. And it's soulful because, without a doubt, your soul is ecstatic at being given this opportunity. Many of you may not yet feel you know what this order is about and what choosing to grow and flourish with us means, or your understanding is still a thumbnail sketch. So let's look at and describe what we in this Order of Christ Sophia are embracing and developing as we enter into this new era of consciousness and light. The teachings, sacraments, and initiations that we have been given in this mystical school are immensely powerful. I know of no other teachings that are as deep and as high as the ones we teach and live here. Our challenge in this new era is to keep the power of the teachings from the past that we've been given, while melding them with the new consciousness and the new ways that are just now coming forth into human awareness. The Western esoteric and mystical teachings we have are very advanced, and we have quite powerfully combined them with the sacraments of Jesus and Mary, and also with the major initiations of Kriya Yoga. The new era is, however, bringing new wisdom that has not been known before. The coming forth of the divine feminine in all its aspects and all its power has never before been known to humankind as it is coming into our beings now. We are being called by the divine feminine to open our hearts and learn to work with the power of the heart at the same time as the new Aquarian era influences are calling upon us to open our minds wider than we ever have before. And we're being invited to do this while simultaneously being entirely guided by the presence of God within us, by the self, the essential self, the God self, whichever you may call it. This astonishing new consciousness is what we're being challenged to enter into, and by entering it, also bring it into the earth itself. I am personally accepting the challenge to think, love, and live in the ways of this new consciousness. As some of you are already discovering, this way of being is not easy. I am calling upon all of you who are spiritual seekers, spiritual practitioners, and ministers of the Spirit to rise up to a new level of taking responsibility for your growth and your consciousness. I have begun to work with our priests and ministers in this way, and they're finding themselves both exhilarated and stretched. Instead of giving orders for all to follow, I'm opening up the responsibility for going inside themselves and finding what is best for this organization and for each individual to all of our priests. I seek out and hold my own guidances and knowing, and invite them to bring theirs to the table. Each priest's inner guidance adds a ray of light coming from God through the crystal of their soul, and each one's expression of God enriches the material we're inquiring into for all of us. This takes much more time and much more work for the priests than if I just decided for them and they all followed suit. This was the old way. The guidance of the teachers was what everyone was to match and follow. The new way calls upon all to do their own inner work and bring the result of that work to the table, open for all to see and for all to take in. Once each one participating has searched their souls and obtained their inner guidances and has brought them to the table before the eyes and ears of their peers, then the work of discerning the truth that emerges from all the guidance is combined, and how God is moving us to implement this new version and this new vision. This way of working is a lot slower and it's a lot more labor intensive, but the end result is that we have a rich and broad vision of God's will for us, and we have a much more empowered and confident body of priests and ministers. I am willing to do the slow, hard work, paying up front for what I know will be a great reward farther down the road. And I choose to do the same with all of you who want to grow in strength, competence, and confidence. This path that we offer is not for sissies. Following whatever one is told is a lot easier. But there's a price to such blind allegiance. If you don't learn to do the work to discern what is going on in you, what is emerging, and what is God's will for you, then you will have trouble feeling empowered and competent. I am committed to doing all I can to help every person who comes to this school feel increasingly sure of their own connection to God, and more empowered in their ability to ascertain God's will for them. I don't want power over your life. I want you to become empowered in your life. And to do that, you'll need to start by taking responsibility for your whole life and deciding to let yourself be stretched and deepened into realms that you may have never even heard of. I am taking the most powerful teachings and initiations we have ever had in a Christian tradition, and I'm raising them up another notch to include the new wisdom that is coming through to us now. I am embracing the power of the heart, which has been long left out of most teachings of East and West, and I'm incorporating it into our teachings and practices. I am challenging myself and all those who wish to be so challenged to learn to truly make peace of all the discord within our own hearts, and to rise up to an entirely new level of being peacemakers by changing our thinking and feelings into those of peace. I am choosing to respect all paths to God and all those who teach those paths, as long as they're choosing love and light and they support all life. And I invite you to join me in this. I am choosing to diligently clear my heart and mind of all negativity and hold no blame or resentment, no judgment or fear of anyone at any time. And I invite you to do the same. I choose to trust each person's own relationship with God and not impose my judgments on others' relationships and inner directives that they get. I choose to stay open to connection and love with all, especially with those who hold negativity toward me. I choose to look to God in each person and call forth what is good and true, emphasizing the light and having compassion on that which is still lacking light in my fellow human beings. I choose to be less so that you may be more. My beloved Mother Mary said that if she can be a clod of earth for others to step on their way to God, then she will be that. How can I possibly hope for anything better than to, in some small way, be like her, my beloved, holy, and gentle Mary? I am committed to bringing every one of you as far as you choose to progress in this life. And I am committed to do everything I can to have you feel better about yourselves, overcome your shame, and feel empowered to be yourselves and serve as you feel called to. This is your order, here to empower you. I am your servant and God's servant, and my every prayer is that I may serve you well. God is pouring visions of the new heaven and new earth into me. I am thrilled to be entrusted to bring this new consciousness into the world. I am full of joy that we're called to offer new teachings that are full of that which is positive, uplifting, focusing on empowerment and grace, while carrying forward the age-old wisdom and transformative ways that are so valuable. I'm not that interested in darkness and demons, in sin and transgression, in guilting and shaming. I will deal with darkness when it is needed and teach you how to do the same, but my focus will predominantly be on the light and carrying the love into all that we are and do. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are so blessed to be given the opportunity to bring Christianity forward into this new age, leaving behind the shame and guilt and powerlessness of the Piscean age, and moving into an age in which patterns that are old and worn out, which hurt and belittled people, will no longer be used. Only what raises people up in truth and in love will be embraced. Will I still teach with power and intensity? Absolutely. I will teach with power, with insight and realness, and you will know it beyond a doubt. And I will expect each person on this path to do their own work, to make an inner connection with God, to seek out what is true, and to allow themselves to be empowered by the light. I will help you get there, but I will not do the work for you. This way I know you will grow in power and in confidence, in sureness of God, and in depth of relationship with Jesus and Mary. You will stand on your own 2 feet and feel strong and happy doing so. This is what the reborn Order of Christ Sophia is bringing to the earth. This is what I bring to you now, and I offer you through each of our centers of light. Feel the difference. Search your heart to find whether you're willing to do the work it will take to be empowered, to be self-responsible, to become confident and holy. This is our path, This is our love. Join us if you dare. The journey is challenging and also joyful. The rewards are enormous. And the love to do it all is abundantly given to everyone who so chooses. Rise up. Be some of the first of this new age to drop the old fetters and take on the new freedom of the light. Be what Jesus and Mary came for. Become the light and the love for this beautiful planet and its beloved inhabitants. Be what you were born to be. Blessings on your journey.